Nicole's editor asked her to write articles about current issues for their popular news magazine. She feverishly wrote and wrote day after day, article after article. However, the magazine's ratings dropped lower and lower. People weren't reading. She became frustrated. She was the best fact finder in the state. She was always researching, double-checking her facts, interviewing the right sources, and creating beautiful charts and graphs. She knew all the right things to do to inform her audience as a journalist should, but it wasn't working. One day, Nicole was writing her most recent piece about cancer rates in the U.S. when a man enjoying the park noticed her writing. The man, Albert, told Nicole of a hereditary cancer in his family, about the loss but also the hope that he had gained from the event. Moved by her emotions, Nicole asked Albert if she could tell others about the story. He agreed, saying he hoped it would help other people. When Nicole sat down to write her article again, she told of Albert's struggle, pain, and hope. She connected his story to the facts she found about the rise of cancer in the country, but also connected back to Albert's message of hope. She wanted this message to resonate with people. This style of writing is called narrative nonfiction. It is the blending of a story with facts. Sometimes whole books called memoirs tell historical facts through a story of a main character. Other times, authors simply want to write a narrative nonfiction article. They'll start with a story to grab readers' attention and then weave that story into facts. The author might eventually disconnect from the story in order to strictly inform, but at the end of the piece they'll bring it full circle by connecting back to the story for a conclusion. The effect is that readers emotionally connect with the topic or issue in the article, and they've learned a lot of information about the topic as well. The author has made an impact both emotionally and informatively. Want to write a narrative nonfiction article of your own? Try this structure. Start with a story, and make sure it's a true one. Go into enough detail so that you've hooked your readers, and be descriptive here. The more relatable and believable your story is, the better. Pause this video to read this story. Now, transition into your topic. This transition should be as smooth as possible and can often be just a few sentences in length. You're really just naming what the topic is and then getting into a few facts. Pause this video to read over this transition. You are now ready to inform your readers in a more direct way. You can still weave in details from your story, but be sure your readers know the facts too. Cite any reliable sources to improve your credibility. Pause the video to read this informative section. Finally, you're ready to transition back into your story to conclude your article. At the end of your informative section, smoothly connect to your story once more, making sure your story's ending makes an impact on your readers and shows the tone you want to convey. To read a sample conclusion, pause this video. Remember Nicole? Her editor saw the difference in her writing immediately and made Nicole's story the cover story of the magazine that month. The magazine sold more copies than ever. Nicole discovered that if she wanted to reach people while educating them, she couldn't forget the value of a story. She continued to use narrative nonfiction for her articles, and she became a very successful journalist. How can you use narrative nonfiction?